Hey everyone, welcome back to your very first virtual cooking class of 2021. Today, we're going to be jumping on the tortilla wrap trend that has been all over the internet lately. We are going to start by making one sweet tortilla wrap melt and a second savory Taco Bell inspired Mexican melt wrap. We're going to be doing this by using as many different MyPlate food groups as possible. To get started with our Taco Bell inspired Mexican melt wrap, we're going to take a combination of different spices and mix them together for our ground turkey. We're going to start by taking 1.5 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of garlic powder, half teaspoon of dried oregano, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Take a small bowl and a fork and mix it all together until well combined. It'll be ready to use when you get started to ground your turkey. And this is what your ground turkey mixture will look like when it is fully cooked and well combined. Remember that we use ground turkey instead of ground beef because it is a more lean, less fat substitution. Next, we're going to work on cutting up some vegetables for the inside of our melt. Today we've got an avocado, a couple of Roma tomatoes, a jalapeno, and a white onion. But remember that you can substitute or omit any ingredients that you don't like or prefer. To get started cutting up the avocado, you may use a paring knife. Remember to hold the knife like a handshake and curl your fingers under, and your supporting hand is shaped like a claw. I like to take the knife and run it down the middle of the avocado. And break it apart. And then I slice it where I slice right through the skin. And it makes a really easy way to peel it right into a wedge here. And if you prefer, you can proceed to dice it up into smaller pieces. For the Roma tomato, I cut right through the center. And I like to cut out the white fleshy part in the middle, along with the seeds. And then flip it over and start to cut it into strips, and eventually dice it into smaller pieces. For the jalapeno, there's a couple of different ways you can cut it up. I like to cut mine into smaller rounds like this. But if you don't prefer the spice, you can cut it down the lengthwise. Cut off the end here, open it up, and gut the seeds out. And then some people prefer to cut it up into smaller pieces like that and mince it. For the onion, I like to cut off 1/2 of the end and then right down the center. again, cut it into long strips. And then small diced white onion. Once you have all of your mixture ingredients cut up and ready to go, you can begin to prepare your Mexican melt. Now we are going to begin assembling our tortilla. You're going to take your knife and make one small slit in the center of the tortilla, being careful not to make it through the entire way of the tortilla, just half. Then you're going to put it in your skillet that I've coated with some cooking spray here. And use every separate quadrant for your ingredients. So I'm going to take some avocado here. I'm going to put my tomato and onion mixture in the top left corner. Place some ground turkey on the top right. Some shredded cheese on the bottom. Place just a few jalapeno slices right on top. This is when you're going to begin to fold your tortilla. And there you have it. Once the cheese is fully melted, you can take it off the skillet and dollop it with some low-fat plain Greek yogurt or sour cream and some cilantro. And you've got yourself a homemade Taco Bell Mexican-inspired melt. Now we are going to begin cooking our sweet version of the tortilla wrap melt. We're going to take another whole wheat tortilla, place it on the skillet, and I'm going to take some almond butter. However, you are able to substitute any nut butter. Make sure it gets all melty there. And I cut up some dark chocolate pieces. And then we're gonna spread a little bit of honey. Dash or two of cinnamon. And some sliced up banana. Do the same process as our first tortilla melt. You want to let it hang out on the skillet for a little bit longer just so that it's cooked through and melted. You can. nice gooey chocolatey sauce with almond butter. And there you have it, your sweet tortilla wrap melt. Thanks so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next week.